Hey guys! I am Nicola from the My Korean Husband YouTube channel, and today I have Sarah with me. Sarah, what is your YouTube name?
Hi, my YouTube channel is Sara.
Which means you love Seoul.
Pretty much, yeah. I love all of Korea, but I like the double S sound, so that's what we went with.
You're not discriminating.
I know, I get that comment sometimes. I'm like, no, I love it all.
Why don't you like Busan?
I do love Busan. Busan's beautiful.
And you're an Aussie girl like me.
Yep. I'm from Queensland, which is up north.
That's where my sister lives. And today we're going to talk about some things that we learned to do in Korea that are actually maybe bad habits in Australia, but it's perfectly fine to do it in Korea. But you spent some time living in Korea on and off, and
back and forth a lot on exchange, and then back in Australia. So yeah, it's
switching between cultures.
Yes.
It can be hard. Okay, so the first one I thought of was kind of being late for everything. Like in Australia, I'm so punctual. I'm like 10 minutes before, I'm be standing there waiting.
Yeah, waiting for them. You don't want to be like the last person. It's not good.
And then in Korea, I'm just like late for everything, but because it's okay.
Yeah, I'm late all the time too. You'll text someone and be like, hey, I'm going to be 15 minutes late, and they're like, good, because I'm 20 minutes late.
Yeah, they're like, I'm still 2 hours away.
It's still like, and I feel like part of that is because the public transport is so good here.
Yes.
You're like, if I miss my bus, there's going to be another one like in like 5 minutes, so it doesn't matter. But in where I'm from anyway, if I miss the bus, the next bus isn't for half an hour.
Yeah.
And then I miss the bus that I have to transfer to. Yes. So I can end up being an hour late just by being 5 minutes late out of my house.
That's the same in Sydney because the public transport is so terrible. Sydney. Yeah, so it's like some trains are only coming here every half hour or so. So you miss that one on like the Inner West line or something. Yeah. Like so you plan so carefully.
Yeah, you have to like journey planner.
Yes.
It depends. When I'm in Australia, if someone's late, I'm like, oh, it's so annoying.
Yeah, like how dare you?
But in Korea, I'm like, I'm late too. Yeah, it's so easy.
I think also in Seoul, there's so many things to do and see.
Yeah,
so you're like, I'm just gonna look at this thing that's happening over here.
That's true. Like if someone's late, you're gonna be in a shop. But in Australia, I feel like I'll just be sitting on the side of the road, like waiting.
So bored.
Yeah, it's so true. So true. So the other one is holding doors open for people, like when you just entering or leaving a building. So when I'm in Australia, if I go through a building and there's someone behind me, I'm going to hold it open for them.
Yeah, here you go.
And if there's just one, they might walk through and then I'll keep walking. Or if there's like a lot of people, then they grab the door and like you walk off and you know people just take the door off you. Yeah. And you say like thanks or smile. Yeah. But no one holds doors open for you in Seoul. Yeah. And if you hold a door open for them, they'll just walk out and everyone will just keep walking out. And you're just standing there like a doorman. Yeah, so now I don't. Sometimes I'll hold a door open for someone still.
So when you go back to Australia, you're just like slamming the doors in people's faces?
When I first get back, I'll like just walk through and then it's like, that's not what you're supposed to do. So like you train back into it, but I have had it and you feel like, because like they're expecting you to hold it open too. So
another thing that I'm in the really bad habit of doing or wanting to do this with like Western people or like Australian people is I want to ask them lots of personal questions because it's so normal in Korea. So are you married? Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have a girlfriend? Where are you living? What is your job? Like
people hate that in Australia. Yeah, especially like boyfriend girlfriend questions. It's really
but here it's like literally you get in a taxi and then the taxi driver will be like, are you married? Blah blah blah. And it's literally just conversation.
Yeah, just talking, just getting to know.
And in Korea, you learn how to deal with it. You've got your answers ready. It's okay. Yeah. But I think for Australians, someone says that and it's like, why are you asking me that?
Like, because people always want to know your age. Yeah. And that's because of also how to talk to you.
How to talk to you. Are you older or younger? They need to know that.
But in Australia, I feel like no one really asks me my age, but the only time someone will ask your age is I feel like if you're a girl and they're a guy, the only time they'll ask their age is if they're actually interested in you. Yeah. Because they want to see if you're like a similar age to like date or something. Do you fit into the dating range? Yeah. That's when you come to Korea and everyone's like, how old are you? I'm like, are you trying to set me up with someone?
Yeah. Why are you asking?
Yeah. But yeah, you can ask like a lot more personal questions in Korea and it's fine. It's just like, and because everyone does it, so you feel comfortable with it too. Yeah. Yeah. But in Australia, it's like, no.
Yeah, and I have to, when I go back to Australia, I have to stop myself because I'm not entitled to know that. Yeah. But I feel a bit pissed off. Well, I won't say pissed off, but I feel a bit sort of like
frustrated
that I can't ask them this thing because I'm just so used to it, like people not caring.
Because I definitely think the boyfriend question gets people. Yeah. People don't like that one at all. Boyfriend or girlfriend. Yes. Because I feel like if they've got one, then maybe they'll tell you, and if they don't, then they're like, well, there's nothing to talk about.
And in Korea, people might even be like, why are you not married?
Yeah, people do ask that one. Like, why don't you have a boyfriend? Or like, when are you going to get one? And you're like, oh, May 27, I booked in.
I put my application in for the Namja.
For the Namja school.
Another one is like sort of slurping food and talking while you're eating. Like the expression of like, oh, this is so good, you know, like, and like slurping the food can be like kind of a sign of like, oh yeah, I'm really,
it's so good.
I'm really
enjoying in Australia.
Sometimes I've got to adjust a little bit.
Yeah.
And also because in Australia, you're not talking about how the food is that much. You might be like,
we'll be like, that's good.
That's good. That's
and then we
that's
finish
tasty.
It.
But in Korea, I feel like you have to be praising the food all the time.
I feel like Australia is getting to be more of a food culture now, but at least in Queensland, until recently, people mainstream weren't that interested in it, whereas Korea is very much about food. Which I love.
It's so important.
And that's one of the things I love. I'm like, food time. And so in Australia, if you like the whole meal, if you're like, oh my god, this is so good, people are like, I know you've said that.
Calm down.
Talk about something else
in
now.
Korea, you can do a little dance. Like,
I do that.
So
I've taken that to Australia.
See, there you go.
People think I'm a bit weird now. Not rude, but just
a bit weird. So like, I'm gonna dance because this food is so good.
Yeah, I do happy food dance. I do that. There you go. Alright, so another different thing is actually in Korea, the roads are actually the opposite to Australia. So when I walk on the footpath, I'll walk on the right side instead of the left. But also in Korea, people don't really stick to one side. Like on the escalators, people will stand on the right. But when you're on the footpath, so many people, everyone just walks wherever.
Yeah.
So it's like when I get back to Australia, because I'm used to being on like the right side of the escalators and just walking wherever, I'll do that when I go back to Australia for a while. And people get a bit annoyed because you're supposed to, people are like, in Australia, not only do you stand on the left side on escalators, you have to walk on the left side on footpaths. Like, if someone's walking at you, you both need to move to the left.
Like, and then all the bikes. This is like what happens to me. I find when I go back to Australia and I'm walking in a park and just this aggressive like bike thing, like, because I'm obviously in the bike lane thing. When
I got a guy get crank hit me for that once too. I was stepping in his bike lane because I was crossing
the
or something.
Bikes.
And he was like, no, and
It's just not a sort of like policed, self-policed in Korea. Instead of like people just sort of walk everywhere and and
I think, to be honest, like, because again, like, there's a lot of people in Korea and there's a lot of buildings, so people are always coming out from places. So it's going to be impossible to always come out on the right side. So I mean, I understand it, but in Australia, people are
they're like, this is the bike lane in the park.
And like, if you're even in shopping centres too, I actually am really guilty of this. I get really cranky in shopping centres when people walk on the wrong side towards me. Because I'm like, there's all this space over there, you can walk there. So then when I come back from Korea, I'm walking on the wrong side and I'm like, oh no, now I'm doing it. Switch back.
I think a little bit, I'm not sure how much I do this, but you know in Korea that you can sit very close to people and you can walk very close to people. But in Australia, you're in their personal space and you're going to get a bit thinking about it. But so I feel like in Korea, I'm so much more like comfortable.
Just if a stranger was like eating here, that's fine.
I just sit down and that's fine. Whereas like in Australia, they'd be like,
what are you doing? Because I feel like even in Australia, like, because in Korea, again, it's a whole thing of space. So if there's a seat next to you, someone's going to sit in it. But in Australia, I feel like if you're at a food court and you have an empty seat next to you, even if like that's the only seat next to it, you still won't sit next to that person because you don't know them. You'll go find somewhere else to eat or anything. But like in Korea, if there's one seat, you're like, oh, I'm gonna sit down there. I've probably like stood a bit too close though, because your personal space it does get smaller.
It gets smaller.
Or like you get a bit more like, because girls are quite touchy in Korea, like not so much in Australia. So like sometimes I'll be a bit more grabby with friends. And they're kind of like, why are you touching me so much?
Speaking of girls, I think that is something that, I don't know if this is a rude thing, but in Korea you can go to a cafe, sit down and just do your full makeup. Like you can look at yourself in public, it's completely acceptable. So in Australia, I want to do that because I think this is a great thing that we can be comfortable enough
that we're wearing makeup, you can see it.
And literally apply it in public, because we all know that we're doing it. It doesn't need to be a secret, hidden away thing. So in Australia, I will still sometimes be like that.
But people would look at you. So
they do.
I know one, using mobile phones at the dinner table, like at the coffee shop. Yeah. Because I have a lot of friends, and because I mean, like Korea, like it's like the tech leader in phones. Let's be honest. Yeah. And so people always have their phone on their table. Yeah. And for me, that took me a long time to get used to. Yeah. Because I found it really annoying because I'm like, you've come out to dinner with me, put your phone away.
I need to look at this.
Yeah. So then I go to Australia, my phone is there. Yeah. And then people are like, what are you doing? Like, put your phone away.
It's much more acceptable in Korea. Yeah. But at the same time, Korea has such a social like culture as well. So it's still it is. We're still talking to everybody.
You see your friends more often in Korea for sure.
I think that's it. Whereas like you're gonna see your friend all the time, so they're not gonna be upset when you are
like on your phone.
If you're like, sorry, I just got a kakao talk with this person. Yeah. They're like, fine, whatever. But I feel like in Australia it's like, well, I see
you've set that time aside
once a month, and then they're on their phone. How dare they do that?
That's exactly it. Because in like particularly in Brisbane, it's hard to get to places. So if you've gone out to somebody, I've caught a bus for an hour to see you, not or 45 minutes. I'm going into the city.
And you're on Facebook on your phone.
Yeah, and if you're on your phone, I'm like, this is the one time in like 2 weeks I get to see you on your phone. Yeah, that's true. And in Korea, like you see people so much more often because you're like, all the time. Hey, you out here? And they're like, so it's
so much more socializing. No, we worked it out. Good for us.
That's so true. Solving issues all the time.
Okay, what about you guys? Have you been sort of back and forth between countries before and then like done something that is such a bad habit in one country, but in the other country, it's fine? Let us know in the comment section. And go over to Sarah's channel and subscribe to her. You can click on her face here and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Check out the social media, the comics, and the webtoon, online webtoon, and we'll see you later. Bye!
Bye!
Pyong! Pyong!